Alright, Shalom Malakia. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to all the Akim that are doing the work in sincerity and charity with humiliation all across the four winds. To you, I salute. To the sincere Aquathimo, they're doing their due diligence in the servitude of their husbands, first and foremost, and then the servitude of their households. Shalom. This is the brother Yahshua from the GMS Bahamas Camp back at you with a brief spiritual hydration. And I want to entitle this lesson, In order to plead with Yahweh, you have to be accompanied by wisdom. In order to plead with Yahweh, you have to be accompanied by wisdom. And to plead with the Lord isn't as these Christians, be hooting and hollering in churches, carrying on, and, crocodile tears running down their eye. No. To plead with the Lord is to be able to have a conversation. You see, to plead with the Lord is to be able to come with wisdom. You have to be accompanied with wisdom in order for your words to be appeasing to the Lord. You see, in order for you to even get an audience with the Lord, right? First precept we want to start off with is Proverbs chapter 8 and verse 20. It says, I lead in the way of righteousness in the midst of the paths of judgment. You see, and what leads in the way of righteousness? Wisdom. You see, and who is righteousness? Yahushai. Wisdom and Yahushai go hand in hand. You see? Let's get Proverbs 4 and 7. We have to be like Yahushai in order to attain an audience with the Lord. You see? Because we have to be accompanied with wisdom. We have to be accompanied with Yahushai. We have to go through him. We have to be accompanied with wisdom to go through Yahushai in order for the Lord to hear our prayers. You see? Proverbs 4 and 7. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all that getting, get understanding. It says wisdom is the principal thing. Wisdom is the foundation. When you look at the word principle, it means foundation. You see, and without a foundation, you don't have nothing to build upon. You see, and if you don't have nothing to build upon, you have nothing to offer up as a sacrifice unto the Lord. You see, you don't have no altar to send up prayers to the Lord, which means you have no audience with the Lord. You see? And that within itself is scary as well. Because in order for you to have that foundation, the principle, you have to be accompanied with wisdom. And wisdom is the foundation that you are able to build upon, that you should build upon. You see, and if you choose not to build upon it, you don't look to have nothing. And if you choose to build without it, don't look to have nothing long. You see? Your foundation have to be built upon wisdom, and for that to happen, a lot of times you build at one point, you get break down, and you have to start over again. That's wisdom trying you. It ain't gonna always be hunky dory and easy things going on. No, wisdom can try you in many different ways unimaginable. You see, wait, when you think about it, boy, wisdom can use your family, your friends, finances, ailments and family members. All these are different ways that wisdom can try you by. You see? Watch this, right? In order to maintain wisdom, you see, you have to be tried by it. You have to go through trial. You see, you have to be, as a trial of fire. You have to be tested in many different ways, unimaginable ways. Whether it be subtle or great. The temptation in order to attain wisdom is these things. Let's get Sirach chapter 4 and 17. Sirach 4 and 17. For at the first she will walk with him with crooked ways, and bring fear and dread upon him, and torment him with her discipline, until she may trust his soul and try him by her laws. You see that? It say at first she will bring fear and dread. At first she will bring fear and dread and torment him with her discipline. You see, and to be tormented with the discipline of wisdom is to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Amended. You see? To be tormented with wisdom is to be corrected. You have to be made in alignment, with wisdom in order to attain her. The scripture says, can two walk together lest they be agreed? How can you walk hand in hand with wisdom if you all lean on the same page? You see? Again, Sirach 1:17. For at first she will walk with him by crooked ways, and bring fear and dread upon him. The temptations can come. James 1:12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he will receive the crown of life that Yahweh has promised to those that love him. And when we think about wisdom, wisdom is immortality as well. But we can get to that, right? It says here, and torment him with her discipline until she may trust his soul, and try him by her laws. You see, and there are many laws of wisdom to be tried by. Any and everything is at the disposal. Wait, let's get Proverbs chapter 1, and you can bring any little scriptures through the talking, right? Proverbs chapter 1, starting at verse 1. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding. So the first thing, in order to building the foundation of wisdom, you have to be able to perceive what it is. You see, you have to be able to perceive. That has to be given, and the only way for you to perceive that is if the Lord give you the eyes, ears, to see and hear these things. If He give you the understanding to understand these things. You see, the only way you'll be able to perceive it is if it's given to you. That has to be given to you. You see, and that was given to you, and to be honest, that was given to you from the foundations of the earth. Because the Lord already knows who is elect is. It's us who don't know yet. You see? Now, when we get verse 10, Proverbs 1 and 10, it says, My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. However, wisdom is not given consent to sinners, to the ways of sinners. You see, and you can be tried. You can get tried and enticed by worldly things. You see? But there's always some distraction, bro. There's always something trying to take you away from wisdom. There's always something there trying to, whether it be a loud noise, whether it be, laughter, whether it be crying, whether it be, a family member calling you while you're doing a video or something of the sort. There's always a distraction out there. Whether they drop the internet, there's always a distraction out there. You see? And at the same time, the scripture says, walk not in the way with them, meaning don't give in to the distractions. You see? You have to refrain your foot. When we read verse 15, it says, My son, walk not thou in the way with them, refrain thy foot from their path. So that means that whenever the distraction comes, when it is a random thought pop in your mind, if you stray with it, the tempter win. For that split moment, the tempter win. It only take a split second, for your decision for you to commit to that distraction. You see? But you have to refrain your foot from the distractions. You have to endure that trial. As small as it may seem, it's still a trial within itself. You see, you may see it as a trial as like some grandiose, some big happen that hey, no, subtle. It's very subtle. So you have to be mindful of that. You have to always be constantly examining yourself and watching out for whenever the tempter may come. You see, the wisdom to be able to perceive when the tempter arrives, and give not that unto it. You see, because again, wisdom always trying to take you. Distractions always trying to take you away from wisdom. You see. Now, when you do that, when you don't give in to the distraction, you deliver your soul from temptation. You see? James 1 and 12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he will receive the crown of life that Yahweh has promised to those that love him. To love the Lord is to love wisdom. You see? When you don't give heed to the distraction, that's a victory. You see, but you can't be ignorant in these trials, but you see, because like I say, any and everything will be at the disposal of the tempter. You see, everything is at the disposal of the tempter, and we have scriptures to prove that. Job is the perfect example of that. Right? I'm sure most people, when they hear this, the first person when people hear temptation, the first name that comes to mind is Job. Right? But Samson as well. You see? Because, and the only difference between them, is Job didn't give in to the tempter or even the temptress. You see, one gave in and one didn't. You see, but the one who gave in repented at the last end. You see, and that's the important thing. Wisdom was returned unto him. But at the same time, don't give in to the distraction. It's only there as a temptation. Again, any and everything is at the disposal of the tempter or temptress. You see, sometimes you may do your reading or you may just be minding your business and your rib start mouthing off out of the blue. Or your kids start nagging you for things, irrelevant things. Or you get a random call from somebody who calling you about work. All those are distractions. You see, but you can't give in unto it. Now, when we read Proverbs 1 and 33, right? Proverbs 33. Because when you don't give into the temptation, when we bring Job into remembrance again, you see what happened there. Once you listen, you can dwell safely. You see, and that dwelling safely is with wisdom. Proverbs 1 and 33. But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil. You see? Whoso hearkeneth unto me, meaning whoso listens to the Lord. Whosoever wisdom, embrace. Whosoever walks with wisdom. Whosoever walks with Yahushua. You see? It says here again, but whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil. You see? Heeding to the words of wisdom. Heeding to the words of the Lord. Right? I want to get Sirach chapter 4 and 17 again. Right? Because, as the title says, in order to plead with Yahweh, you have to be accompanied with wisdom. In order to be peaceable, you have to be accompanied with wisdom. In order to be able to dwell safely and be quiet from the fear of evil, you have to be accompanied with wisdom. Because in order to get you out of those things, you have to pray to the Lord. And in order to plead with the Lord, you have to be accompanied by wisdom. Sirach 4 and 17. For at the first she will walk with him by crooked ways, and bring fear and dread upon him, and torment him with a discipline, until she may trust his soul and try him by her laws. You see? Now, you'll be tried by the laws of wisdom, right? When we go to verse 16, it says, if a man commit himself unto her, he shall inherit her, and the generation shall hold her in possession. So once you commit unto wisdom, you can inherit her. You can't be half in, half out. You have to be fully committed unto wisdom. You see, unto Sophia. You see? Again, if a man commit himself unto her, he shall inherit her, and his generation shall hold her in possession. So you have to commit unto wisdom in order for it to accompany you, in order for your prayers to be heard. You see? James 3. Let's get the book of James. Oh, one of, if not my favorite book in the scriptures. This is the book of James, chapter 3. And 13. It reads here, who is a wise man and endued with knowledge among you? Let him show out of a good conversation his works with meekness of wisdom. A man is known by his speech, you see, and his speech must match his works, and his conversation must be with meekness. So you can't be saying one thing and doing another. You see, you can't be asking for forgiveness and not being able to forgive yourself. You can't say you out there professing the word of the Lord and you have enmity within your heart towards somebody. Wisdom don't enter in a malicious soul, right? His conversation must be with meekness, but those cannot be had. You can't have meekness in your conversation, with bitter envying Because wisdom does not enter a malicious soul. You can't have bitter envyings within yourself. You can't have bitter envyings within your heart. You can't have strife within your body, within your tabernacle, because at the end of the day, a little leaven it the whole lump. And if you're building the foundation of wisdom, if a little leaven is inside the foundation, if a little bit of mold gets in that foundation as you build it, what you think can eventually happen? As big as you build that building, that mold can spread. So it has to be rooted out from the beginning. You can't say you want to profess the word of the Lord and you can't forgive, those that are right around you. You see, in order to get forgiveness, you have to be able to forgive. You see, again, in order for you to plead with the Lord, you have to be accompanied by wisdom. You see, anything that is thought to be that kind of wisdom, meaning thinking maliciousness or anything of the sort, is earthly. You see, if you think, speaking slanders, towards us, if you think, not being, generous, or if you think, vain things in this world, right? Those things are earthly. Sirach, it's the book of Sirach, chapter 3 and 24. It says, "For many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and an evil suspicion had overthrown their judgment." You see? So again, that type of wisdom right there is earthly. You see, that kind of wisdom right there, is not of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Because it's only filled with confusion. Confusion cometh forth. You see, so you have to be mindful of those things. You have to be mindful to be able to perceive. Just because something is said, or mentioned, doesn't automatically mean it applies to you. You see, just because something is said and it pricks you, it may prick you because that's something what you have to work on, but it doesn't necessarily mean it was for you. You see, but at the end of the day, with that type of wisdom, those things only bring confusion forth. You see, so you have to be able and be mindful of these things. Don't get lost inside translation. Don't let feelings take over and cause you to misjudge what is being said, for you to stumble over what's being said. You see, you have to listen to understand. Don't just listen to respond. You see, so that type of wisdom again is earthly. You see, that ain't of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. But now watch this. Now if his speech be without hypocrisy, peaceable and easy to be entreated, then that is pure wisdom. You see, Sirach 3 and 24 again. Salakia. Sirach 3 and 24. For many are sealed by their own vain opinion, and evil suspicion had overthrown their judgment. You see? But that's going into the previous point. You have to be mindful of that earthly wisdom. But it says here, but if his speech is without hypocrisy, peaceable and easy to be entreated, then that is pure wisdom. That wisdom was obtained through trial and testing. You see, that wisdom was obtained, through going through hardships, through going through different trials, whether small or great, through going through all type of fire, flames. That wisdom was tried and tested, proven to be pure. You see, nothing received without something given. Meaning, in order for you to attain that type of wisdom, you have to give up the rudiments of this world. In order for you to receive, pure wisdom, in order to be, one with wisdom, you have to be fully committed unto her. You see? And, that's oftentimes that be a difficult thing to do, because the flesh warred against the spirit, constantly at war. But every day, when that battle is had, you must resist. You must resist the tempter. You must resist the fight within yourself. Not only resist, you have to face it. And face it with faith, knowing that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai will guide you through it, knowing that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai will give you wisdom. You see? Now, again, nothing received without something given. You see, you can't want to live in the world and live in this truth. It ain't gonna work. You have to choose one. And a speech as such is a fruit sown in peace. And wisdom, when you are able to plead with Yahweh and your prayers be heard. You see? So with that type of wisdom, with that pure wisdom, is how you are able to plead with the Lord. How you are able for your prayers to be heard. You see? The wisdom must be sown in peace. The only way to attain wisdom is if you have peace. You can't have enmity with that one. Enmity with somebody. You have to have peace. You see? With self, first and foremost, and with others. That's the only way wisdom will be able to enter within you. That's the only way the Most High will be able to hear your prayers. That's the only way it will be a sweet savor unto the Most High ears. But with that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Akakadash, Shalom, and Abad Shalom.